Oh boy, spiffy music on the old timer countdown. I think they must have updated that or changed it. All right, welcome everybody to Stock Analysis Friday. We'll be here about a half an hour, so short and sweet, so to speak. But the idea is that we're going to cover stocks that you want me to analyze from a technical standpoint using our software. So we're going to do that. Also, too, when you type in your stock picks, put them in the comments area and put them in caps and do no more than 3 at a time. That way we keep it moving. And also let me know if you're long, short, or thinking about taking a trade. And that way I can kind of tailor the analysis to what's going on in your end. Okay, let's see. What else do I need to say here? All right, end of February. So last day of February. So another month gone by. Now we got to start worrying about taxes, right? So that's the next step. All right, Gene's giving us a woohoo here. And a happy Friday. All right. All right. So room starting to fill here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right. So let me just go over a few administrational items. And of course, that includes the risk. So let me see if I can just pull that off. Okay. So there are risks involved in what we do here, which is trading and even investing in the financial markets. You know, you can't avoid it. It is what it is, people say. But you need to be aware that there's no guarantees in the market. Past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. And when we do an analysis of a stock here, this is my opinion. I don't know your personal situation. So be sure you just don't run out and buy whatever I say to buy. Check with your financial advisor and make sure anything I recommend is suitable for you. I don't know your personal situation. They do, okay? And you need to know how to use risk control in every trade. First, start by only using money you can afford to risk in the markets, okay? Don't put your mortgage money down in the markets. It's not a good idea. All right? So that's step one. And then step two, when you take a trade or an investment, figure out, how much of that you want to do in order to be comfortable with the trade. So when you're stopped out, you're losing amount you can afford to lose. So again, I have a couple of books on that if you need help on how to properly calculate the risk on every trade. It's called position size as well. So that's an important aspect. It is the most important aspect in trading the markets. There are some systems, if you use really good risk control, that win maybe half the time, you can still make a profit. All right. So risk control is more important, I think, than entries and exits, to be honest with you. All right, let's see what else. I said past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. Okay, I am I'm an educator. I'm not a, financial advisor. Okay, so make sure you realize that. And we always have to stay in these things that, we're here for entertainment purposes, even though I'll do a good job on the analysis. All right, so let's go on here. All right, so a couple books on money management. So if you need help in that area, there they are. Okay. Also, too, my new book, The Art of Trading, all right, is now out and shipping, and I think that is probably the best book I've ever written. It certainly is the newest, and I've been doing this now for over 30 years. So this book here just came out a month ago. And I think it's literally the best book I've ever written. It's 608 pages, so it's a pretty big book, but it covers everything you need to know when you want to learn how to trade the markets or even invest in the markets. So that's out. I've got other books, as you can see. And Wiley published my new book, whereas McGraw-Hill published my Elliott Wave book. So I got a couple different publishers doing that. All right, in the software that we use the ART software, AL, PTF, TLM, and ERI. We use scanners, risk control software. I'll put some links in the recording so you can have direct access to learn more about this software and also to buy the books. So that will be available for you. We use the software for both day trading and also swing trading and investing. So really just requires you to put it on the right time frame, so to speak. All right, so give us a like. Take a minute and do that right now so we can move up in the YouTube competitive environment, so to speak. All right, give us a like. You're already subscribed probably if you're here, so I'm not worried about that. All right, now I want to cover a quick synopsis of the market. Before I jump in here, let me just go through some of the, I don't know who is here, so the only way I know who you're here is by looking at the comments. As Gene says, type in your stocks. You can do that now in all caps and do 3 at a time. And let me know if you're long or short, or you're in it and you kind of want to know, should you get out of it, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so this chart was drawn on February 23rd. So I have a service called the Market Opportunity Report, and that comes out every week, and I have a video that I do with that for my subscribers. And we come out on Sunday with a new chart update. So I'll be coming out with another one Sunday if you're in the Market Opportunity service called More. And I'll just give you a quick glance. If you want a more detailed version of what you're going to hear here, you should subscribe to the More service. It's not that much money. Very well worth it. I give you a written report. It's also a stock picking service too. So you get my stock picks for the week, as well as a video each and every week regarding the markets. And I cover the S&P, I cover the NASDAQ and Bitcoin and things like that. All right. So here we are in the Dow as of last Sunday. We were coming down. We were pulling back. We had a little bit of a pennant here near the top, and we went below that. And that was an indication that we're obviously moving down. Now, a couple of things I want to bring your attention to, all right? So we have a double top possibly forming here, all right? It is possible we could, of course, come down, make one more high as well, because that is possible. We haven't gone through some of the key level of supports that we need to go through before we can really say this bull run since 2009, believe it or not, 2009, is over yet. So do I think it's going to end? The answer is yes. All right. When is it going to end? I'm thinking sometime probably in the latter part of this year. I kind of got a feeling we have one more high based on the analysis I do. But if we go down from here pretty hard and take out these short-term support levels, then we got to rethink that. So, we're basically in the markets. What we try not to do is get too married to a prediction or a forecast. Instead, try to follow the market. Really, as traders, that's the best we can do. We look for certain patterns in the market. The software does that kind of give us a higher probability on direction, short-term direction. But nonetheless, you can draw trend lines, you can do all the fancy stuff, and yet at the end of the day, we still don't have that crystal ball perfectly where we can tell you what the market's going to do. But with that said, you can become a real technician in price patterns and risk control. All right, so let's take a look here. We got a short-term support up 41,844. We're in what we call a wave 5, and that's an Elliott wave calculation on the target zone, and that target zone is between 40,281. Well, we're already above that, all the way up to 47,426. So we're smack in the middle of that. Could it go higher and get to the top of that zone? Sure. If it starts taking out these support levels, then we got a problem. All right. So, basically the way I see it is most of these equity markets are have been in a bubble, including real estate. And sometimes these bubbles can last a lot longer. They can drift for a little while. Something comes along and maybe is a catalyst for them to reverse at that point. But we're in the target zone. So I think it's not a matter of if, it's more a matter of when. And it's going to be a doozy when it does top and finally head down. It will be considered a bear market at that point. Real estate, you got to be really careful about real estate. If you look at the Case-Shiller index compared to the CPI, we're way out of proportion on that as well. So I'm looking for a 50 to 60% decline in real estate along with the stock market at some point. But for right now, as long as we stay above these trend lines and these support levels, everything is honky-dory. All right. So I just like to share that because it kind of sets the tone. So in any case, we're still heading up. So long trades to the long side are A-okay. All right. I don't know if I'd be doing too many investments at these levels long term, but that's kind of where I'm at on that. All right. I want a quick review on Bitcoin here. I'll make this quick. So very interesting. Basically new analysis is we're at wave 3 here. All right. We're going into wave 4. We got some fair value gaps here that we hit. We got one more down here. We got red on the one of our indicators called the PTF, red over here. So I don't think this move down, all right, is over yet. All right, those indicators have got to change at least to yellow before they do. Now, what's interesting, and I'm going to open up this daily chart of Bitcoin, which is the chart in the center. The chart on the left is a 60-minute chart. The chart on the right is a weekly chart. So I got a short-term, intermediate, long-term chart. We had forming here a very bullish candle, okay, there. Took out the fair value gaps. I would love to say that's a bottom, but I don't think it is. However, I do think you're going to get some pressure to the upside, all right, and then a turnaround back down. I think it's not done going down. So any movement to the upside, I'm a little suspect at this point, unless we start getting a significant movement where we start taking out this level here and then this level here. So there's liquidity sitting here and here, but there's also more liquidity down here as well. So I'm thinking maybe a little bit more movement to the downside. So my target still is around 77,918 all the way down to 58,485 before actually after that, then we should rebound and get above 100,000 again. My target eventually on this is around 116 to 138. All right. But I still think we've got some more weeding out, so to speak, on Bitcoin. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if we got back up to 90, 95,000 before it turns back down. All right. So that's my analysis. It is what it is, but we'll see what happens with that. We'll keep watching the levels. All right. Let me go through here. I did a lot of talking, so let me go over and find out where the first stock is. And good morning, Stuart, to you. Jim, good morning. All right, I think, Jim, you're the first one. So I'll start with you. If I miss anybody before you, please type in again. All right, SH for a long swing trade. Oh, boy. All right, I don't know. My data looks a little kooky on this, Jim. Looks like I got a big gap here in the daily. What's that all about? Don't know why I have that. Definitely have weekly charts looking fine. Let's open up that first. All right, so for a long swing trade. All right, well, we technically still, I think, let me just see what we got here for a high on this pyramid. So the high on that is 43.39. The high on this bar here is 43, where are you? 43.25. So technically, there's still a short position on the long-term charts. I think it's a little early. I think you got the right idea looking at this, though. We do have a move up here. This daily chart, this is a gap, okay. I want to see a better looking weekly chart, okay, before I take a swing trade on that. I just want to make sure I'm not going against that major momentum. All right. Gina's telling me the message blurb seems bigger than usual. Guess a new update made it bigger. I think you're right, Gina. I think it's been an update. Okay. All right, Stuart, DPZ. Let's take a look there. I'm sure there's a way for me to make it smaller, but it'll probably take me 15, 20 minutes to figure it out. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll worry about that later for the next time. All right, DPZ. All right. I'm going to hide that, though, so it's not in the middle of the charts. All right, so Stuart is looking for a long. All right. I assume you are long because you say you're long, not looking for a long. All right, so red PTF on the 60. Not my favorite, to be honest with you, Stuart. It is moving probably off its bottom here, but you're kind of in a bracket here. So long is okay, but this PTF here on the short-term chart says we're not done with this channel. All right, so I think you're going to have to hang on to that for a little longer. All right, I don't know where you got in. I don't know if this is a long-term investment or a trade, but I would probably not be in it if it was a trade, okay? Just letting you know. All right, one I'm going to share with you guys before we go on to the next one, and that is UNG, all right? UNG is one I've talked about weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. We've been watching it for a year. And it finally now is showing signs of life off the bottom. And so this is one, I recommend this in the Moore report. I'll recommend it here. Check with your financial advisor, of course, and make sure it's suitable for you. But from a technical standpoint, it looks pretty decent to me. Okay, and we have recommended it, so we do have people in it. So just a fair disclosure there. But it looks good, So if I see something that looks good and I'm sharing it with you, best intentions, because I think it's got a lot more legs to go. So if this is a major bottom on here, then I think, you can be long on this for quite some time. So this could be looked at more also as an investment. Even if the stock market crashes, this is an ETF tied to natural gas. So it's tied to a commodity, it's not a stock, so to speak, where you're invested obviously in a company that won't do well during a recession. This should do well regardless, especially now that we will probably be pro-energy and start exporting this. So just some food for thought on that one. You guys can make your own decision, talk to your financial advisor, but this is kind of one I put up there. All right, Giovanni, how are you? Good to have you here. All right, Jean's giving us a happy Friday. And Eleanor, okay, so TSLR, I'll remove that in just a minute so everybody can see it. I agree, it's awful big, isn't it? TSLR, all right, for a long. So I'm going to go through your picks there, Eleanor, but I'm going to hide your comment there. All right, so let me just make sure I read that right. Okay, you're long on that. Okay, so that's, oh boy. Have you been long a long time? If so, you're definitely underwater on that. I hate to say that. I would not go long yet. All right. It is not done coming down. Yeah, you may get a rebound. All right. But the rebound will be temporary in nature. This is still red. This is green. So you read this from left to right, guys. So this is the first chart because this is the short-term chart. That's trending down. All right. No red PTF anymore, but a red owl. Second chart to look at from left to right is the daily chart, right? This is the normal chart that you see on all the news services and stuff like that. So that's obviously also heading down. But we have a red PTF now, no longer a green, so that's changed. Now, we got a red owl here. All right, then the third chart over here on the far right, it's fairly bullish, but we're pulling back, but this is a green PTF. The price action's not bullish, but the indicators are indicating the long-term trend on this should move back to the upside after this deep pullback. All right, so what's it doing? Well, this is probably Elliott wave 1, 2, getting ready to bottom. We've got support here, okay? So that's a good sign. So we may get a little pullback. What usually happens in these things is we'll get some type of pullback. Everybody goes long, then it comes back down into the support area. All right, make sure it gets all the liquidity it can down there. And then after that, it starts moving up rapidly. Okay, so I don't think it's at that place quite yet. So I would keep this on a watch list. You can watch it, but just don't act on it. Okay, I wouldn't take it right now. All right, SMCL. All right, SMCL. And let's take a look at that. All right, not much history on this one. So right away, that's a negative for me. All right, we do have a similar situation in that we had a big move up and a pullback. What I think you're trying to do is catch these pullbacks to go up. And I commend you on that because that's actually a very good strategy. This is a little more promising than the other one in terms of maybe a pullback sooner rather than later. So we've got a little bit of congestion here. And let me just grab my, so this is kind of an area of interest here, right? Okay, so that's kind of where we're at now on that. Green, I like that. But the price action has not turned around yet. All right, so I think what I would look is I would look for this to turn green over here, this owl indicator, which measures momentum. This, as long as it stays green, that's good. All right, if that turns red, then that means more lows are coming. So we may have a bottom. It may bounce off there, but it's way too early to tell yet. And I would rely on this chart to go bullish here first. So let's put that down as a watch list for everybody and look at that next week, because by next week, this may be ready to go, okay? Or may be ready sooner than that. So not quite yet, but very, very close. All right, PLTR. Take a look at that one. All right, that's been beautiful. All right, so pullback. All right, so again, this is the weekly chart. All right, I'll start with this one this time. All right, just simply because I want to explain something here. Notice our pyramids that we use to get into long trades. Just what a beautiful trend up that was. You could make lots of money on that one using the art pyramids. But now, what do we do now? Well, this is a wave 3. Okay, our owl also tells us a wave 3. We've got a very powerful owl, so this move up is not done. But again, anytime you look at a new trade, all right, I think you're already in this one, but for people looking at a new trade, you don't want to get in and chase the market, okay, up here. You want to get in when it's just starting to move, okay? It's too risky unless you're willing to bite the bullet and have a 30 to 60% pull down before it returns, because that's what the Fibonacci numbers tell you. All right, now with this, a little different in that we're probably in a wave 3 and we're in a minor 4 inside of 3. So we'll need to go to the daily chart, and we don't even have a red one here yet. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this. If that owl on this goes red, then we're going to be going into a significant wave 4. So again, I would put this one probably on a watch list. I'm just determining where wave 2 is. All right, and we're kind of in that target zone right now for the pullback. So we're close. All right, it's just that right now the price action is down. When I say price action, what's the current trend? Well, just draw a trend line. It's down. All right. So the price action has not reversed yet, but we're in a zone where we could see a reversal. So let's put this one also and take a look at it next week. You just don't want to be blindly buying into a market just because it hits a level. Wait for a rejection off that level. All right. Thank you, Eleanor. And let me just put yours back up here because that's what we looked at. All right. Jim is saying to me, please, your S&P data daily chart doesn't match. Well, then I think my data is wrong. Okay, very simple. It is what it is. So you're going to have to go with your analysis on your end, Jim. All right, let's see what we got. I'll put it back up there just to see if it's changed. But maybe it will, maybe it won't. Oh, sweet. So I guess it just took time to fill in. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. All right, so how does that look better now? That should look more like yours. Sometimes when you type in a new stock, the data takes a little time to catch up, I guess. So it had a gap up there, if you remember, that didn't make any sense. Okay, so let's take a look now. All right, so you can see here what I was saying before, that this pyramid is still technically active, okay? So we need to get above that and take that out. Plus, we still have some significant owl to the downside. So I like what you're doing. You're looking for a bottom here. Okay, I like that a lot. Kind of look at it as like the bottom, or the bracket I drew on here is the bottoming process, and we need to have a break out of there. So, put this on a watch list. I would not be buying this right now. I would kind of wait a little bit more. I think let's see it pull out and then have some more definitive move. Because you see, we've seen this before. We had a pull up here only to be met with that. Pull up here, and this is what trends do. So you want to have enough of a breakout so your probabilities are indicating, yes, that is a bottom and it is a breakout. And we don't have that quite yet. Okay. So thank you for that. All right. Eleanor, let's take a look at what you got. LPG. LPG. Give me 1 second. All right. And then I'm going to remove that so we can read that. Well, I agree. That is way too big a type on that. All right. So let me just make sure. I don't know if you're long or short on this, but you don't want to be long. Okay. And it's not ready for a long trade. If you're short, stay short. Okay. All right. That is LPG. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla's a good one. All right. So Tesla, all right, has pulled back into its target zone. All right. We were kind of moving down on that. And we still got a red PTF, slightly just turned red on the daily chart. So again, price action is down. All right. Indicators are indicating more lows coming short term. All right. Long term, this will turn around and make higher highs according to the weekly chart. And at this particular point, if you have held it this long, I would hold it now. All right. This is actually getting into a buying opportunity area. If this is a long-term investment for you, okay. Again, this is what I'm seeing on a lot of the tech stocks. I'm seeing a big pullback, but then I'm looking at the long-term charts and they're not done yet. So how can you have a market top in right now when companies like Tesla look like they're eventually going to make more highs later this year? Right? Okay, so that's why, yes, we're in a target zone. I don't think I would buy anything long-term that at this particular point. I'd wait for the market to actually go into a bear market then. But for short-term swing trading, we can do this type of thing, right? But I don't see a market top in the market right this second because of stocks like this that to me look like they have pulled back into a normal Fibonacci retracement zone. And yeah, may pull back a little further, but then it looks like more high. So I don't see a market top until late this year or into early 2026. So, but it is coming. Okay. But when I see stocks like this, I think it's got another run up, and it's such a big leader in the tech sector. It's going to also bring the tech sector up. So if the tech sector goes up, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is not going to go into a crash, right? All right. So anyway, let's keep going here. And we've got Eleanor back. Oh, wait. Did I do? I'm sorry. Hold on. SMCI. I got to do one more for you. SMCI. Okay, my mouse does not seem to be working here now. Now what's going on? Oh, let me see here. My pointer was still pointing. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, so we had a red PTF. It's now green. All right, this was a fairly significant pullback. That's not a wave 4, okay? That pulled back way too far for a wave 4. So that's probably a wave 1, 2. Not bad. This is price action still down on this. Could have a little bottom here. All right, one of the things here we can look at is we have some congestion here, and that usually can be a significant support area. So I'm liking that. Green PTF. We have not started moving up. So the price action, like I said, is still down. You can see that on the owl as well. Yeah, so I'm thinking this is looking pretty darn close here to a buy. This is kind of one of the ones I really actually like some of the best here right now, but it's not ready yet. Okay, so I would put this on the watch list for sure next week because this one could be a really good one, and it's getting pretty close, okay? All right, if you're long in this one, stay long, okay? If you're not long, don't take it yet. All right, see if I can find my place here. Okay, got it. All right, let's see what we got here. And Stu is Nike. All right, let's take a look at Nike long. All right, and this is one that seems to have rebounded. Okay, so we definitely got a rebound on the daily chart because it looks, you can see it coming out of its bottom. We did take out the bearish pyramid on Nike. Now this is where this is different, Jim, than the one you showed me, simply because at this particular point, we have no longer an active pyramid to the downside. So that's kind of what we want to see happen on the one that you're interested in, that SH. All right, so we've got green here, nice move up, looks pretty good here. Let's see, what's keeping me from saying yes on this? Okay, so it looks like we're in a little bit of a pullback. So I'm thinking here, we're probably going to pull back a little bit further, 77 to 74. Not too bad, right? Okay, maybe 10% more on the pullback. There is a double bottom here, and it's looking pretty good. Now, for those that want to be super conservative, you can wait for the owl to change on the weekly chart. And if so, you probably got a month or so, maybe 2 before that'll happen. Depends how fast it moves back up. So I'm thinking, Stuart, maybe let's wait a week, okay, and come back and visit that. Now, if you are still in this, just hold it, okay? I knew you were in it before. Okay, so let's keep going here. Giovanni, gold. All right, let's take a look at the ETF gold GLD. All right, and we had looked at this before, and it was in a micro channel to the upside on both the weekly and the daily. It has broken that channel, so it's coming down some here. We have a large, let me open up the weekly chart. We have a very, very big movement here. Now, we go back to 2011, our original forecast was 3, 4, and we recommended on the breakout to go long. So if you did that, you should be pretty happy with me, okay? All right, so now I want to do one quick check here and see a couple things. So I'm going to use this measurement device here. So the top of wave 3, the owl, and let's write this down. So the owl high on wave 3, I'm seeing 29, 28, I think. Let me just write that down and see if we can see it any higher over here. All right, I think, yeah, I think that's the highest. All right, the current high on this owl here is 2487, 2481, close, huh? 25. All right, so basically this is a wave 5, okay, on this chart. Why does this say wave 3? Because we're probably in a wave 3 inside a wave 5. So we'll have a 4, and then another push up 5. Okay, so that's kind of how you would read that. And we're going to look at the daily chart and see if we see that in there. So, very, very interesting, right? All right, so that's kind of where I am on that. And I'm thinking here, yeah, we're definitely pulling back still. All right, price action on the 60-minute chart shows down, 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 not over yet. This is still pretty strong. This is coming down a little bit, and this is less than this. I probably, at the break of this channel, all right, even right around now, if you've been long on this and you're sitting with a lot of profit, I would take some off the table. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to not possibly make more highs in gold. But I think maybe you've seen the best run yet of it, okay? And so maybe after the next high, we're due for a more significant correction. So talk to your financial advisor. My advice, when I see something like this with bearish divergence and a move, I would take a little bit off the table and not all of it, because I think maybe we come down here, reverse, make one more high, and that may be we'll take a look at it again there and see if there's any juice left in it. But, you know, just because it's gold doesn't mean that's not going to top. Okay. So there you have it. All right. But certainly from a short-term trader standpoint, you would have wanted to take some profits off the table, and it's not too late. Okay. All right. So there's that. Thank you for choosing that one. All right. So, well, a lot coming in here. All right. So I got KMI. Let's take a look at that one. Okay. So that's in a wave 4 right now. So we're pulling back after wave 4, more highs. So quick target on this. I'll use this point here. So we hit a high probability area there. Let me just see what we got cooking here. That's a good sign, but we still got a lot of red here. All right. I need to see a little more follow through before I think this correction is over. I'm also not seeing a very good ABC on this leg down. All right. It's hard to see an ABC really. So I'm thinking more A, B, C, and then it goes. All right. Wave 4 completes over here. Now, with that said, we got green here. That's a good sign. Green here. So more highs are coming. You know, if you get into an area here, could this be a bottom? It's possible, but I don't necessarily think so. I think you've got a lot of support sitting here. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring it back down there, shoot that liquidity, and then head it back up. Okay. They did take out some liquidity here, so I think we're going to get a bounce here. This may be the start of B wave, but that's kind of where I'm at. So what do you do? All right. What if I'm wrong? Okay. So, well, you could go in with a third here, buy a third, keep the other 2/3 in reserve to see if I'm right, and it comes up and goes down here, and then buy another third. And then when you see it turn around, buy another third. Okay. That way you're kind of dollar cost averaging in, which is okay, provided you're not increasing your risk. So if you're okay to go in with a certain amount risk wise, and obviously if you go in with just a third, you still have 2/3 left to go in. All right. So you're not dollar cost averaging in a wrong way, because your position size is still what it should be. All right. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on that. Okay. And let me hide this one. Unfortunately, again, I got to hide that one. Okay. So why can't you read it now? All right. So the next one is VC. All right. That's Verizon. Let's see. Long-term losses. Okay. Good. So you got some long-term losses in KMI. Okay. All right. VC's heading up. All right. We got green PTFs now. Maybe this pullback is over here. Not the greatest price action, if you ask me. Okay, a little wobbly here. I would probably hold it. Okay. LPX. All right, now long term again. Okay. So let's just remove that. All right, so we've got red PTFs here. So we're probably heading lower here. So this one, if you need a tax write-off for next year, okay, take it. But more lows coming here. All right, how much more lows? Well, here's a big problem with this one. I'd probably dump this one. You got a 3 here, 4 here. So far, that owl, you got bearish divergence showing a 5. So I think there's more possibility of this turning into a new trend down. So this one I'd get out of. But talk to your financial advisor, okay? All right, so that is that. All right, we're a little bit over time here, but let's see what we can do. Give me 1 second. All right, Bill, let me take a look at some of your CVV. Okay, so CVV, I don't know if you're long or not. In this case, it's not quite ready for a long trade, okay? Still coming down. All right, in NMG, I'm just going to go through these pretty quickly for you. All right, so on this one, price action on the 60-minute chart is still down. We have green PTFs on the longer term charts, red on the single, so not quite ready yet, okay? All right, AI, and let's see what AI. Okay, let's see if that loads. Not getting that one. All right, how about DMAT? Okay, not much liquidity on this bad boy. Look at how spotty it is. No, I'd stay away from that too, okay, from a technical standpoint. All right. All right, so I bit. Yes, I bit. Thank you, Stuart. BTC. Now you can also do GBTC on that too. Basically, it'll be the same forecast for the most part as the rest of Bitcoin, still coming down, okay? But again, like Bitcoin, look how big the owl is here. So any movement down here is just a profit-taking move or a wave 4 on the smaller time frames, and we should get more highs. Question is, I just don't think it's quite over yet on the pullback. All right. All right. GOLD. Yes, it is one. Okay. If you meant gold, let me put that back up. Thank you, Constance, for that. Not there it is. Come on. All right. So let that load up for a minute. Okay, so here's the actual gold stock, Giovanni. Yeah, I thought you meant gold, so I was looking at the ETF for that, but there is a gold stock as well. All right, so on this one here, not my favorite pattern here. Look at the messiness on the weekly chart. You've got this going back and forth in the channel. Okay, I'd like a little more definitive direction on that. We do have a pull out here, pull out here. The 60-minute chart actually looks pretty clear, but it's still loading the data. But I can draw fibs here. So I think probably what we're looking at here is a possibility of another high coming. All right, so what are we at? 17 bucks here. I'd like those indicators to load. So they're taking their sweet time right now. I don't know why, but in any case, that could be over or it could be going down. So I'm seeing a nice ABC structure here. All right. C wave is just about as long as A wave, so that's good. Maybe a little further down, but again, we're not seeing the indicators load at the bottom here, so it's still loading data on that 60-minute chart. All right, so I would wait until we have more price structure movement. And what does that mean? All right, even if you don't have the indicators, you want to see a move off the bottom, a pullback, and then you want to take that out. You might get a pyramid here, but that's your buy zone right there. So with price action, whether it's up or down, anytime you think you have, for example, a bottom, buying just on the rebound is a little risky. Instead, wait for this. Pull up, pull back, and then another pull up. That is a break in structure, okay, on that trend. And you don't have a break in structure unless you have that pattern, okay? All right, so that is that. All right. And let's see, UNG, I looked at that. Yeah, stay long, Frank, on UNG. You're good on that. All right, my pleasure, Giovanni. Let's see. Oh, Frank, IWM. Stock Analysis Friday would not be complete without an IWM. Okay, so you're short, which was good because it broke out of that channel. And let's see, for some reason, that real-time intraday data is pretty slow for some reason right now. I don't know why. All right, so do you stay short? Yeah, I don't think you have any reason to get out yet. All right, still moving down. What you can do, I mean, you definitely have a red owl here. Price structure is down. You may get a little move up and then another move down. Another pyramid could form here. If that happens, move your stop down. But for right now, you took out this cluster and you went below it. So that's bearish. The next liquidity level is here. Okay. So let's see how the market responds when it gets here. Does it do one of these? If so, you can get out there. Okay. Otherwise, just stay short. All right. Let's see. Bruce is saying ET. But that is getting really slow for some reason. You guys must be chewing the data up. All right. So on ET, a little bit of profit taking on ET, kind of normal. Again, I mean, you cannot expect to have a huge run up like this without some form of profit taking. So that's what we're in now. Okay, so that kind of explains the pullback. More highs coming, yep, but you're going to have to suffer through a little more in the pullback. How much more? Let's take a look. This has been a long move up. I'm going to open this chart up, try to find some good points. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw some fib extensions. So probably the way these work is that on a Fibonacci retracement, you wait for the owl to go red. As soon as that happens, you have a reason to really draw these in. All right, green PTF down here says basically more highs coming, but we're going to have to probably retrace to this zone here before we get more highs. So it's kind of like this, and then it goes up like that. That's kind of what we're looking at. In Elliott wave, this would be a 3, a 4 type of thing. So I think maybe a pullback to $15 to $11, and then we should see bullishness come back. So if you're long and you don't want to dump it, you could look at this as a buy zone to add more on. Okay. Otherwise, you could sell now, buy back in a couple months when it's down in there. Okay. All right. KR. Let's see what's going on with KR. All right. So KR moving up. We got a little bearish divergence building on the weekly chart. You can see it also there. So my concern here is we're probably getting ready to clear a major top here. Boy, yeah. Okay. So here's your 3, here's your 4, here's your 5. Let's see if we're in the target zone for that 5 yet. So let's go back here, 1, 2. Again, I'll do this. So that's a 3 there, 4. Okay. So let's use the fib extensions here. Where are they? Where are they? Okay. So here to here to here. So target on this is 67.84 to 83, roughly 84. So you can hold it. You still got a green PTF. You could also draw a very nice, neat trend line here. Okay. Pyramids still have you long. You could draw a shorter term trend line like that for scaling out. All right. So I'd stay with it for right now. Okay. If I was asked, would you buy it here? No, we're too close to the target. But if you're in it already, that's okay. All right. Well, I think that is it for today. I want to thank everybody for coming. Okay. Is there anything I missed? Okay. Was there somebody typing in a stock that I may have missed? Bruce, you're very welcome. Thank you for coming. All right. I think we got them all. All right. Well, listen, you guys have a great week. for fun, I like to put it on the day trading time frames. We'll see how those do here. These are all fair value gaps along with our software and some of the indicators that we use for the NASDAQ. So, this is a 1 minute chart here. And then we've got a 5 minute over here. And as you know, we have an active day trading room. And we trade twice a week in the day trading room for 2 hours each. And we're up over 30% for day trading profits this year. Not too bad. We're trading 2 days a week. All right, 2 hours a day, 2 days a week. And we do a lot of different things in there. We'll scalp, we'll trend trade, we'll use signals with just the pyramids or the owl. We'll experiment with some others that people are interested in. So it's a lot of fun and very, very informative. So if you're interested in that, in day trading, it's a great room. All right, anything else? Frank, our pleasure. Good to have you here. All right. All right. Well, I guess finally, that's it. I'll put a little music on. You can watch the market move in real time on a 1 minute time frame. This is the NASDAQ March contract. And basically, when it gets to these certain levels here, it either rejects or goes through. And when it rejects, that can be a quick scalp trade to the upside, for example, on this one that's forming here, even though the trend is actually down. So you may take a quick profit to the middle of that Bollinger Band. All right, so that's it. Have a good week, and we'll be back, put some music on, and then we'll close the room. Thanks so much for coming, everybody. And here we go into March.